This is video number 69 on your Firearms Defense channel, video number 3 in the series regarding Trollkillers comments. Okay, next we're going to examine the issue he raised of calling 911 and safe rooms in your home to go to in the event of a home invasion. Now, here's the first thing. I don't believe in calling 911. They're probably going to get there in 30 minutes, maybe a little longer, just in time to bag and tag your body, you know, and if something goes wrong. So that's the first reason. I wouldn't call 911 for that reason alone. You're not going to get there in time. If they do get there in time, they're just as likely to shoot you as they are the bad guys, and in fact you may get caught in the crossfire. So I wouldn't call 911. Now, about safe rooms, here's the big problem I have with safe rooms. Now, I know the title of my channel is Mr. Home and Personal Defense, but that's kind of a misnomer. I picked that name because it's something that everybody can relate to, and when I first started this channel I wanted a name that everybody could relate to, and I picked that. And everybody thinks of home and they think of personal defense and self-defense, and everybody thinks defense. But the fact of the matter is, due to my courses that I've taken at Front Sight and the target focus videos I've viewed and the mindset I've acquired from watching Front Sight videos and Tim Larkin's videos, I'm more offense minded than I am defense minded. So that's a big problem I have with a safe room. You know, you're cowering behind the door with your cell phone, calling 911, hoping they show up in time, and the bad guy or bad guys or whoever they are, in the meantime, they're breaking down your door, and you're just hoping, you know, you're praying 911 gets there in time, and they probably won't. So that's a big problem I have with safe rooms and that idea. And even if you're behind the door with a gun, which you should be at the minimum, you're not on offense where you should be. You should be out there killing these people if they broke into your home, because that's what they're going to do to you, and you should in fact be on offense. And that's the whole problem I have with safe room, is that I'm not on offense where I should be when something like this happens. So, okay, I've covered that. So next up, he said in one sentence, he says, make sure that whatever is on the other side of your bedroom door, home office, bedroom, can properly stop a bullet in the event you have to fire through your door. Well, what did he just say there? I can't imagine firing through a door and hoping I hit something on the other side. That just goes against my whole process of being offense-minded. You know, I'm just shooting through the door and praying I hit the bad guy. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. Now, here's the other thing about that. Now, while I'm on that subject, that's one of the reasons I don't have an AK-47 or a high-powered rifle or an assault rifle or anything like that for home defense. I live in a densely populated urban area, and an AK-47 will shoot through the bad guy, it'll go through your wall, it'll kill somebody half a mile away, and I don't want that at all. So that's why I don't have a high-powered rifle of any kind for home defense. I have, in fact, I have my Glock 45 and my SIG 45, which I've loaded with jacketed hollow points. Now they'll maybe go through somebody, you know, and stop and not go very far. They'll hit a wall and it won't go through the wall or anything like that. And my shotgun has a maximum range of about 100 yards if, you know, it doesn't go through anything and stop. So those are reasonably safe weapons to use for home defense as far as not killing somebody half a mile away, which as a responsible firearms owner you should be conscious of in an urban area. So, okay, I'm only 4 minutes into this, so I might even have time to get this in. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about here are several sentences in his channel post which I want to tie together as one subject, and they are: sentence 1, I have real-world experience in firearms and combat. Sentence 2, You don't need to kill someone that breaks into your home unless they're trying to kill you. Sentence 3, property is not worth it. Sentence 4, nor being a hero. Sentence 5, I guess you couldn't understand that since you have never taken a life in combat. Taken a human life in combat, that reads. Yep. So, okay, let's get started. Number 1, first of all, I'm going to assume that he has real-world experience in firearms and combat, because that's just not an issue with me. I don't, in fact, care whether he has real-world experience or not. Number 2, you can't assume someone who breaks into your home while you're asleep doesn't want to kill you. You just absolutely can't assume that at all. That's a dangerous assumption to make. Number 3, you can't assume your property is all they want. Number 4, there are no heroes in a social violence situation, only survivors. If somebody breaks into your home, you're not going to be a hero in any way, shape, or form. If you're lucky, you're going to be a survivor, and that's about all there is to it. Well, I shouldn't say lucky. If you're lucky and prepared, you're going to be a survivor at best. There's no heroes in those type of things. Now, I saved the best part for last here. In fact, I just love that last sentence. I guess you couldn't understand that since you have never taken a human life in combat. Well, you know what? He's absolutely 100% right about that, and I hope I never have to. Well, at 64, it's not likely that I'm going to have to. In fact, I put that right on my channel page. I said I'm not Dirty Harry, I'm not Rambo, I'm not Mac Bolan, I'm not Mason Stone, I'm 4F, I've never been in the service. I just said that a ton of times, you know, on my channels, you know. So that's the thing about that right there. He's 100% right about that. I never have. I hope I never will. And like I say, I'm not any kind of hard guy at all. So, and the other thing I'm going to show you here, I think I've got time to do this. I might take up the 15 minutes here because I'm going to cram all this in the video. Here, in fact, are my front sight certificates that I'm going to show you. If I can get them in there. I have 4 of them there. You'll note that this one, I hope they show up here. I'm having to set here. And now, you'll notice this one has a silver star on it, which says graduate. So, I would like to think that I shoot pretty good. You know, it's an ego thing. You know, I had 4 courses at front sight. You know, I got a silver star on one of my certificates. I'd like to think I shoot good. But the fact of the matter is, there's hundreds, probably thousands of people that go through front sight every year that shoot better than I ever will. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of firearms enthusiasts making YouTube videos who shoot better than I ever will. And that's just a fact, and that's the way it is. So I'm not any kind of an expert with a firearm at all, and in fact, I've never represented myself as an expert. So that covers that part of that. Now, so what does this have to do with actually taking a life in defense of your own? Well, absolutely nothing. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. You don't have to be a hardened combat veteran to press the trigger on a Glock 21 and put 2 through the thoracic cavity and 1 to the ocular cranial cavity. You just need to acquire the training and the mindset. Now, front sight runs thousands of ordinary people of all ages and all sexes through their 2- and 4-day handgun courses. And they do that. They're there from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. all day long, with an hour break for lunch and brown room breaks. Then they spend all day long in Nevada sun, 2 to center mass, failure to stop, 1 to the ocular cranial cavity. And they do that all day long. They acquire classroom time for classroom instruction. If their home state will allow it, they get concealed carry permits. And they leave front sight after 2 to 4 days with the skill at arms necessary to defend their lives and to take a life in defense of their own or their family members if necessary. And now that isn't some magic or some mysterious process or combat experience. It just is what it is, and anybody can do it, to be perfectly candid. Now, I got some time left over here. I'm going to use my 15 minutes on this one. I'm going to cheat a little bit. Sorry about that, folks. But I want to talk about one more thing here, and that's target-focused training. Now, that's unarmed combat, what they teach. They specialize in that. Now, everybody assumes that you have to spend years training to be any good at empty-hand defense. They also assume it's hard to kill someone with your bare hands. Now, neither of these things are true. In fact, Tim Larkin and his target-focused training staff give 2-day seminars on this subject. And they teach people of all ages and sexes and all sizes and all different strengths and all different abilities to defend themselves in 2 days' time and utilize the skills that are necessary to do that in a situation where your life is on the line, literally. Now, just a word here about Tim Larkin and his staff in closing. Now, most of his staff that helps him teach this course are kind of nondescript looking people. One guy, Thorin, is kind of an ordinary looking guy. There's another guy there with a beard and a tall, thin guy, and he looks like he just got off the Bataan Death March and he needs a decent meal. There's nothing special looking about him. Tim Larkin, on the other hand, now I understand from listening to his videos that he's walked away from a lot of chances where people have challenged him to fights and stuff like that and wanted to fight him, and he just avoids what he considers antisocial violence under any circumstances. He just avoids it like the plague. And why anybody would challenge him, I cannot understand, because this guy is a real beast. I mean, he's got 20-inch arms and tattoos on his arms, and he just looks like a type person, if God forbid you ever set him off, he'd unscrew your head and hand it to you, and that'd be the end of it. So anyway, I've run about 13 minutes into this, so I'm going to cut this off and post this up there. And this will do it for my series on Troll Killers comments, and I'll see everybody on the next video.